My company is called Panoptic Counseling Services, and we provide mental health and counseling services to all. We use a variety of techniques such as EMDR therapy to help those in need of mental guidance and those with mental illnesses, and our main goal is to provide mental health and counseling services to everybody. We also offer general counseling services through licensed marriage and family therapists, and therapy and counseling is tailored to each client based on what the client's individual needs and requests are, because not all clients need the exact same kind of therapy. Therefore, not all clients need the same kind of treatment, so we alter our previous background knowledge of psychology and of the brain to each client. Services are also available regularly, and we do accept insurance, which is something that most private practices don't. And there are also pro bono sessions available to those in need that me and my associates will do periodically. That way, those who cannot afford to pay out of pocket or through insurance can get the help that they need. In my market research in Sacramento, there are around 3 million people up here, which includes Citrus Heights, Roseville, Rockland, Sacramento, and of those people, that means that 48,000 people in my area have mental illness, and there are not very many Kaisers. I am somebody who has Kaiser insurance, and I have also been to private practices, and there are only 2 mental health facilities in the entire area of Sacramento. That includes Roseville. There's one in Roseville, and there's one in Sacramento, and that is supposed to take care of El Dorado, Rockland, and many other areas in my area that would not normally have that few. So if you think about the Bay Area, you think that there is Oakland and San Leandro and Hayward and lots of facilities, whereas up here there are not that many. When I spoke to those in my community around my age group and my parents' age group, both felt that healthcare providers in private practices were difficult to maneuver, in that they can be difficult to gain insurance unless you are employed. It can be difficult to get to appointments. It can be hard to go to a private practice because of the costs. And they were willing to try a new private practice approach in order to benefit themselves or someone they know, because everybody that I spoke to knew somebody who could use some form of counseling, whether it was with their family or they have a mental illness or something that they'd like to work on or learn. When I suggested that they might go to an online counseling service such as Talkspace and BetterHelp, both groups were apprehensive about the subscription costs to these services. I went myself and tried to make an appointment with a private practice I know, and I was charged $200 for an hour with limited availability and no health insurance coverage, which is a big deal for me because I am a student, and I know that many people my age would not be able to afford $200 for a private practice. However, I do have Kaiser insurance, but they weren't able to see me for 2 months unless I went to an emergency care hospital stay. So my startup costs are around $11,000, with most of that going towards renting an office building and getting some furniture, as well as getting phones and licensing and insurance and all that stuff. Workers, including myself, will pay for monthly and yearly expenses through our overall salary, with the exception of me because I'm going to pay for the upfront costs. The 2 employees of mine will work like independent contracted therapists, with pay increases but deductibles taken from their pay, such as their portion of the rent, utilities, and an overall take from me facilitating the clients. So I will bring in the clients for my therapists, but they will have to pay me, or they will be deducted of their overall salary that they make from each session with each client, because they will need to pay me every month for their portion of the rent. So if the rent is, I don't know, $1,200, they will have to pay their portion, which would be $400 of that if we divide it, equally between the 3 of us. So this is my yearly projections. So in the first year, we are looking at losing $250,000, and I believe that's because of the startup costs and just the costs of getting the business up and running, but you'll notice that we will increase in profits in year 2 and especially in year 3. And that is mainly because we expect there to be more clients as the business grows, and because we will kind of learn it. It is a learning experience. We will learn new techniques. We will go to seminars. We will learn what the community around us needs, and we are basically tailoring our business to what the people around us will need. So my ask is for a convertible note loan of $250,000 to cover the losses we will experience in year 1, which will have an agreed upon interest rate to where the investor can either be paid back $250,000 plus the interest that we agree on within the determined year period, or gain equity in our company based on the evaluation when the loan is due. So to me, what that means is you can either get your money back with interest, or you can say, you know what, I'd rather turn what I gave you into equity in the company. We are expected to make $258,299 in year 2 and $802,695 in year 3, so our sales projections will increase after the first year, which means that we should be able to pay back the loan if needed plus interest. The reason that I feel